I feel like I should have a countdown or something, but I don't, so I'm just going to start. So hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're dialing in from. My name is Mennionho, and I'm the Executive Director of the TechDiversity Foundation. Now, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're gathering today and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. This is unceded land, and that matters, especially as we talk about building workplaces which everyone belongs and everyone's voice is heard. Now, I want to start with a genuine thank you to our graduates, not because you showed up today, but because you showed up the past few months, did the work, and actually engaged with the harder conversations in the program. Now, that's rarer than you'd imagine. Here's the thing. Diversity and inclusion gets talked about constantly. It's become corporate wallpaper. Nice words on the wall that don't really change the work that gets done. But the group engaging today, you didn't come here for the wallpaper. You came because you already know something fundamental. Inclusive teams make better decisions, they catch what others miss, they innovate faster, and honestly, they navigate risk better. That's not theory. That's your lived experience if you've built diverse teams, and it's your lived responsibility if you haven't. What struck me with this cohort is that you didn't just nod along. You challenged yourselves. You had the conversations that made you uncomfortable. You questioned your own assumptions. And most importantly, you left knowing what to do differently. Now, I want to acknowledge the ACS Scholarship Program, because we're going to talk about building inclusive teams, we need to actually do it. And that means making sure that the cohort reflects different backgrounds, different geographies, different experiences. So to our scholarship recipients joining us from across the globe, you're not just here to tick a box. You're here because you bring to the room, what you bring to the room is essential. To all our graduates, today is about celebrating you. Not the program, not us, you. Because you're the ones who are going to go back into your organizations and actually shift how work gets done. Now, I just want to quickly explain how today is going to run so you know what to expect. First, we're going to hear from some of the brilliant people who made the program possible. Our course creator, Amna Ben Amara, will share a few words about the content and how it resonated with this cohort. Then our facilitator, Dr. Nandi Spry, will reflect on her experience guiding our graduates through the program. And we'll hear from our valued partner, the Australian Computer Society. After that comes the moment you've been waiting for. We'll present each graduate with a digital certificate live on screen. I'll call your name, your certificate will appear, and we'll take a moment to congratulate you properly. We've asked some of you if you'd like to share your experience of the program, so we'll hear from a couple of the cohort after all the presentations have been made. Finally, I'll finish with a few words about what's coming next with the Academy in 2026, including something exciting. Now, before we start, a big thank you to our partners, Cultural Infusion Atlas and ACS, who you'll hear from later. Right, let's get started. It's my pleasure to introduce someone who poured their heart and soul into building the content that made the program what it is. Amna Ben Amara is the creator of our inclusive leadership modules. She took complex research and evidence-based data from our own study called the Tech Reflex and transformed it into something practical, engaging, and genuinely useful for busy managers. Amna, the feedback from this cohort has been extraordinary. The content landed, it resonated, and that is down to you. So please join me in welcoming Amna Ben Amara. This is where the crowd's going crazy, and I'm going to bring Amna in. Hey, Amna, great day. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Lulu, thank you. Thank you for this incredible introduction, and thank you for your enthusiasm and for all of the cohorts, for their time and dedication to finish these modules and to believe in the power of transformation and the power of change. And I would like actually to extend my thanks to Cultural Infusion, which gave me the opportunity to be the creator of these courses, and to Michael Wilmsley, who actually supported me throughout the process of creating these courses. Throughout this program, we did so many talks about its importance and its relevance to the field today. So many people in the intercultural field and in the diversity and inclusion field say that safety is comfortable, but inclusion is not. Because most workplaces today are doing something called inclusion, but very few are doing the work of belonging, because this is what needs most effort. And the difference between the two, is courage backed by data, I would say. So, in the intercultural field today and in the work of diversity and inclusion, I would say safe spaces are not enough. And psychological safety is important, but it's not enough. They are important first steps, but safety on its own is a low bar. So that was the rationale behind creating these courses. We as using safe spaces, we can protect people from discomfort, but by opting for the brave spaces and going to the brave spaces, we can ask them to sit inside this comfort, this discomfort. And inclusion cannot grow without discomfort, because it is mainly about the redistribution of power and not just a performance of politeness. So yeah, all in all, these are the main values and guided me throughout this program. Of course, the belief that traditional diversity, equity, and inclusion data looks backward was another principle, and the importance of living data and data that captures how people actually move through the organization, where they can feel heard, where they appear or disappear, where the system rewards them, where every and each detail and aspect and layer about their identity is seen and counted. And when we combine brave spaces with good data, something powerful happens. People just stop arguing whether a problem exists or not, and rather they start solving it, because they start seeing it and pointing their hands towards it. So thank you so much, and I wish the cohort the best in their future endeavors and in the future programs of the TechDiversity Academy, and looking forward to continue this collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amna. Really, really appreciate all the work that you do, and really well said. Don't go anywhere though. Stay with for the actual graduation. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so now creating content is one thing, but bringing it to life with a group of learners is another skill entirely. And for that, we've been so fortunate to have Dr. Nandi Spry as our facilitator. Nandi has guided this cohort through every module, every discussion, every challenging question. She's created a space where people felt safe to reflect, to be honest, and to grow. Nandi, I would love for you to share a little of your experience facilitating this program and what stood out to you about this group. Let me bring in Nandi. Hey, there you are.
Thank you so much, Luli. And yes, I'm so grateful to be part of this incredible cohort. I was once in the seat as well, the passenger seat as a student, and thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience. So I'm representing both the cohort and also the facilitator. But yeah, it's been a wonderful, absolutely wonderful experience. And I'm actually going to hold here and give you exactly one diversity facilitation in the tech world needs. It needs incredible graduates, such as yourself, cohort, who have completed the course. And I just want to say congratulations. Diversity in the tech world, it's no longer just about representation. As Amna said, it's increasingly about belonging, unity and belonging, how people with different backgrounds, abilities, cultures, and experiences can genuinely participate, influence, and thrive. And this is what I found in this group. Some wisdom, a good friend told me as well, Luli, is that any training we do is another leaf in our journey in the workplace, one that invites continual learning, unlearning, and curiosity. The work doesn't just end, as we know, when policies are written or teams look balanced. It deepens when people feel heard, respected, and safe to contribute. And I definitely found this in this group. In tech, exclusion often shows up quietly, which was very apparent. It can look like voices being overlooked in meetings. And this is not just in our immediate vicinity, but it's in our remote staff feeling disconnected, perhaps younger employees not being taken seriously, or colleagues with additional needs that has been discussed in the modules being unintentionally sidelined by systems that weren't designed with them in mind. Inclusion, by contrast, looks like shared power, adaptive practices, and relational awareness. And this was so apparent. There was so many great examples that were given. And even myself, I learned so much from you all. And you know, it's not just about lowering standards, it's about widening our access. As representatives and voices within our workplaces, we need to acknowledge that this work is nuanced and sometimes problematic. People from different cultural norms, as we saw, we had backgrounds, African backgrounds, we had Asian backgrounds, Australian backgrounds. Our communication styles, our generational perspectives, and lived experiences all can be problematic in the workplace. But we can't treat this difference as a problem to solve. Instead, we need a solutions-focused mindset that sees diversity as a strength to steward. In global and remote tech environments, this becomes even more complex, which we noticed. There's time zone problems, cultural expectations, and perhaps local realities that requires to lead with diplomacy, maturity, confidentiality, and at the same time remaining calm. And this effective diversity course, it really showed, and it was very apparent that there was a relational communication aspect. There was the ability for us to listen well, to respond, even when we all work in competing, demanding organizations. But you manage to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. It's also important to say this clearly, that we are not experts. This work is not about having all the answers. It's about adopting a we, not I posture, empowering each other, valuing contributions across our roles and ages, and recognizing that insight can come from anywhere in the organization. Finally, diversity now framed for me is about unity and belonging, and you have showed me that. And this requires ongoing stewardship of our staff, of our culture, and of ourselves. So this is an invitation for me, and hopefully for you all, to keep exploring, keep learning, and keep showing up with humility and courage as we shape workplaces where people don't just work, but belong. Thank you so much. I'll pass it back on to you, Luli.
Thank you. That's fantastic, Nandi. Thank you so much. And we'll be seeing you again, hopefully, later on in the year.
Thank you, Luli.
But don't go anywhere. Okay. So now I'd like to welcome a representative from our valued partner, Lucia Gary from ACS. Now, ACS has been instrumental in bringing the TechDiversity Academy to life. Their scholarship program has opened doors for learners who might not otherwise have had the opportunity. We're deeply grateful for this partnership and everything it represents for the future of inclusive leadership in Australian tech. Please welcome, I'm going to try and be slick with this, please welcome to the stage, Lucia Gary from the Australian Computer Society. Oh, that was pretty slick, Lucia. Hi, Lucia. Great to have you here today.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks, Lily. Just checking, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Lily, and I really appreciate being given the opportunity to say a few words today on behalf of ACS, because we're really proud to have been a part of this amazing initiative. So ACS aims to build an Australian tech workforce where diverse voices don't just participate, but they shape the future. And being able to provide the scholarships into the Academy for our members has meant that we're really able to have this impact. So we actually ended up with over 70 applications for the scholarship, and we really saw that there was an appetite from our members. And that just goes to show that this is the right path forward for the tech sector. I personally feel really honoured to have been a part of it. And if I just briefly share something personal. So I have a daughter who's got a disability and she's very young still, but this is giving me hope for her future in the workforce. And it's really inspiring to know that there are people out there who are going to be rooting for her future to be able to participate. So yeah, I guess I just want to say a huge thank you to Luli. You're really inspiring. And Amna and Nandi and Jen and everyone else behind the scenes who helped to deliver this academy. And a really big congratulations to all of the graduates. And I hope that you can take what you've learned and the passion that I can see that you all have to create a real change and impact for the future of your organizations and for the tech sector. So ACS are looking forward to continuing our collaboration with TechDiversity so that we can keep doing this important work and being a part of it. Yes, thank you very much. Back to you, Lily.
That's great. Thank you so much, Lucia. And seriously, you know, we really depend on partnerships like the ones offered and demonstrated by ACS. So we look forward to continuing working with you again this year and beyond.
Thanks. Me too.
Okie dokie. So now the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to celebrate our graduates. Now, in a moment, we're going to bring up the graduate's digital certificate on the screen. I'll call your name. We'll display your certificate, and we'll take a moment to acknowledge your achievement. I'm actually going to bring, so that it's not just me in the room on my own, I'm actually going to bring a few people in to acknowledge and celebrate with you. So I'll do that in a second. So to everyone watching, whether you're a colleague, a family member, a friend, or simply someone curious about what we do at the Academy, these are the people who did the work. They showed up week after week. They engaged with challenging material. They had honest conversations, and they've earned this moment. So graduates, this is for you. Let's begin. Before we go, I'm going to bring everybody in because otherwise it's just me, and we don't want that. So you're coming back in, Nandi, Michael, I'm bringing you in. If you can put yourselves on mute, that would be fantastic. Lucia, great. So it's awards time. So we're going to start. We've got 15 graduates today, which is super exciting. So our first graduate is, I'll do a drum roll, but I don't have any drums, but it's Hayford Ajikam. Congratulations, Hayford. Thank you very much. Our second graduate today is Tamara Bourne. Congratulations, Tamara. I can see some funny things happening around me. Congratulations, Tamara. Next, we have Mandy Ho. I'm going to give a big shout out to Mandy because you were very, very active in the program. So thank you for a lot of the conversations and the shared experience throughout the program as well. So a big shout out to Mandy. Next, we have Michelle Lim. Thank you, Michelle. Congratulations. And our next graduate is Zizel Bashadu. Congratulations, Giselle. Great. Oh, you are then. Next, we have, and I think you sent me some words as well, Leon, so thank you. Our next graduate is Leon Mennionho. Congratulations, Leon. And we're going to hear from our next graduate later as well. So Farrukh Mahmood. And I can see you there, Farrukh. Look forward to hearing from you in a moment. Next up, we have Tammy McDonald. Congratulations, Tammy. Now, I've been told that there can't be any favoritism, so I've just got to introduce the next person, even though it's one of my best friends in the whole wide world, the one and only legendary Claire Menzies. That's my unbiased, congratulations, Claire, and thank you for all your support. And next we have Ikra Nazim. Thank you, Ikra. Our next graduate is Visham Ravut. Congratulations, Visham. Now we have, please welcome to the stage, Ross Rall. Congratulations, Ross. Next up, we have Jahelen Swan. Congratulations, Jahelen. This is going too quick. I'm going to get emotional. Our penultimate graduate is Elnaz Tadayan. Congratulations, Elnaz. And last but most certainly not least, our final graduate is Harry Visvanathan. Congratulations, Harry. So that is our 15 graduates. So a big round of applause once again. But we did ask and put a shout out if anybody wanted to say a few words in regard to their experience. So to do exactly that, I'd like to invite to the stage Hayford. So Hayford, is Hayford here actually? I'm not sure Hayford is here. The trials and tribulations of live streaming. So I can't see Hayford, but Hayford, if you do pop in, I would love to hear from you. But I can see Farrukh. So Farrukh, I'm going to bring you to the stage to share a few words regarding your experience of the course.
I'm audible.
How you going?
Yeah, I'm great actually. Thank you very much for this opportunity actually. I'm very much excited to be part of this. Actually, today I'm not just graduating. I'm stepping forward as a now TechDiversity Fellow, basically. I'm actually evolving my role from the IT leader to a culture architect.
Oh, we've lost you. I think, Farrukh, I think you're frozen. I think we've just lost Farrukh, which is the real shame. If Farrukh comes back in, here he is. We lost you then, Farrukh, but we've managed to bring you back in again. But I can't see you. No? Well, whilst we see if we can get Farrukh back and get his camera on and audio happening, I want to share a few words with you from Leon. So Leon did share some words with me about his experience, which I'll read out now. So from Leon, it was quite an enlightening experience for me personally, especially getting to see some of the things I deal with on a daily basis. I've begun implementing the practical resolutions proposed to address those solutions and those situations, especially during meetings, and I see some positive reactions. So that's great to hear. And I think this is the important part that both Amna and Nandi, expressed. It is about incremental change. And, the things that you're doing, Leon, it's really great to hear. So please continue. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Farrukh back. Unfortunately, 1 second. He's here. Hey, Farrukh. That's fine.
Sorry for that.
That's fine. So let's see. We can see you and hear you again now.
Thank you. Actually, nowadays in cybersecurity, we measure the system health and we track the uptime and security risk with the precision. But yet we often overlook our most critical system, which is belonging. In our culture, that's clear that the high belonging from the people for the people. With the data I have learned, it's 56% in the performance. So that's why in 2026, actually, what if we have to look about this indicator is that it's not just now HR matrices. These are mission critical indicators, actually, because if our human layer breaks down, our tech execution also got failed. Will definitely get failed. So my focus has been not only to just check the deep data, we have to look to the diversity in the core. What I'm using now is basically the 4 basic pillars, which is the heritage, language, belief, and the geography. So we actually align the tech with the lived experience of the global users. I'm now implementing the Y security sprints, which is actually which drives the solution. Here now, treating that and inclusion as a most powerful operating system, basically, which is scalable, secure, and build further innovation.
That is really encouraging to hear, Farrukh.
Thank you for
so
this.
I hope, and Farrukh, I hope you continue to amplify your learnings and that message with your community as well, because the bringing it in and that understanding at the tech layer is incredibly important. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I mean, that's our graduating cohort for 2025. So again, let's give them a big, huge round of applause, because that's an incredible group of leaders. Now, as I said before, you came to the program because you believed that inclusive leadership matters, not just as a nice idea, but as a genuine business capability. And you've proven that belief through your commitment, your engagement, and your willingness to do the work. But the work doesn't end there. Now you go back to your organizations. Remember, you are now the culture creators. The skills you've built here will ripple outwards in ways you might not even see. Farrukh's determined to forever be a part of the conversation, which is really exciting. The skills you've built here will ripple outwards in ways you might not see. Every meeting you run differently, and like Leon said earlier, every decision you make with a broader lens, every conversation you have that you might not have had before, it all adds up. Now, before we close, I want to share what's coming up next for the TechDiversity Academy in 2026. First, the Inclusive Leadership Program will be running again this year. So if you have colleagues who've been curious about what you've been doing over the past few months, send them our way. And graduates, we have a little thank you for you. A 25% discount code for your colleagues will be sent along with your digital certificate via email. But I'm also thrilled and excited to announce something new. In March, we'll be launching Australia's first diverse AI governance practitioners program. Now, this program is grounded in ISO standards. It's designed to help participants stay ahead of the curve as AI continues to reshape our workplaces, our industries, and our lives. Here's what I want you to remember. AI is still a people business, and governance will keep it that way. Here's what makes the approach different. The safest, most robust AI governance happens when you bring together diverse professional disciplines and lived experiences. Not just technologists, not just lawyers, not just philosophers, all of them and more working together. That's what this program's about. If you or someone you know is working in AI, working adjacent AI, or simply wants to understand how to govern it responsibly, this is for you. You can also use the same code that we send to receive a 25% discount for Module 1 of the program. So more details to come, please watch this space. Now, before I go, I want to say a few thank yous. Thank you once again to Cultural Infusion and the Atlas platform for the research and data that grounds our inclusive leadership program. Thank you, Amla, for creating content that genuinely resonates And thank you, Nandi, for facilitating with such warmth and wisdom. Thank you to the Australian Computer Society for your partnership and your belief in what we're building. And most importantly, thank you to our graduates. You are the reason we do this. Watching you grow, engage, and commit to becoming better leaders has been one of the greatest privileges of my career. Keep going, keep learning, keep creating workplaces where everyone can thrive. Congratulations, class of 2025. See you all soon.